Devils are chained, then how come sins are still being committed around us? What is this issue about devils being chained? There are a number of hadiths, all authentic, where the Prophet says that when Ramadan is due, the gates of hell are closed, the gates of paradise are opened, and the devils are chained. And there are a number of narrations. One, the devils are chained, the masters of devils or jinn are chained. So if this is true, why do we still have sins in Ramadan? Scholars say that this hadith indicates that the jinn, the devils, Satan, cannot get through as they used to outside of Ramadan. And this is obvious. The amount of sins during the month of Ramadan is far less than before or after Ramadan. And anyone can observe this. You can see it. So one meaning is that it is less. The other meaning or the other interpretation would be that the hadith is clearly stating the masters of jinn. So their leaders, their tribe leaders of jinn are chained. But the little ones, the soldiers, the privates, they are on the loose. A third explanation would be that they are chained, yet the evil within us is the one that drives us to make sins. And the sins we make are either directed and instructed by Shaitan, by Satan, by the jinn, by the devils, or our own evil selves. And we have our own evil, which is not chained in Ramadan or elsewhere. Nevertheless, we believe in the hadith. And we believe that the jinns are chained, they're restrained from doing what they used to do before Ramadan. Yet there is some impact, whether by the small jinns who are unchained, whether by our own evil selves. And the hadith definitely indicates that Allah's mercy, forgiveness, and Allah's support for us, and encouragement to pray, to read the Quran, to make dua, to give in charity, all of these good deeds would reduce their effect on us. I've heard some people talking about this openly. In the tafsir of Surah Al-Ma'arij, what if someone indulges in extremely filthy acts during fasting by himself, which requires him to do ghusl? What is the kafara for that? This is in referral to masturbation. And masturbation, according to the majority of scholars, is prohibited. It's an act of transgression, and a Muslim must avoid this. Does it impact his fasting? Definitely it does. It breaks your fast. Is there any expiation for that? The answer is no. The expiation is only for intercourse. But it is sinful, it voids and nullifies your fasting, and you have to repent to Allah Azza wa Jal and make up for that day. I have exams during Ramadan, and I become extremely tired while fasting. Can I miss a fast for a day or two and keep them up later? Will I be sinful? First of all, to become tired due to an exam, come on, give me a break. I know pregnant women in their 7th and 8th month of pregnancy, and they fast and they manage it. What is it to be tired sitting there with a paper and a pen and answering the questions? This is ridiculous. Muslims used to go to war while they were in the state of fighting, though Allah has given them the permission not to fast. And you are complaining and whining for a couple of hours you sit. This is totally prohibited. It is unacceptable, none whatsoever, to skip days of Ramadan with the justification of studying or going through an exam. This is totally unacceptable. Am I sinful? Definitely you are sinful big time. Fasting Ramadan is a fard. It's a pillar of Islam. You can't simply just skip it and justify this by saying, I have an exam, it has no impact. Rather, as we've stated so many times before, the blessing comes from Allah. The barakah comes from Allah. The strength comes from Allah. If you are on good terms with Allah, Allah would help you and support you. Wallahi, among the biggest losers are those who neglect Allah's duties. So they don't fast. And they go to their exams and they get bad grades or they fail. What have you gained? You've lost the dunya and you've lost the akhirah. So trust Allah, depend on Him and have full reliance on Him. Go to the exam with positivity that Allah would give you the strength, and inshallah you'll do well. What is the role of niyyah in fasting? And is it a must for me to have suhoor or the pre-dawn meal? First of all, as for the niyyah, there is a difference between fard fasting and voluntary fasting. In fard fasting, it is a pillar that you have the intention for fasting before the break of dawn. Because the Prophet says, in an authentic hadith, whoever does not intend to fast at night time, then there is no fast valid for him. And this is regarding the fard fasting, which means that if tomorrow is Ramadan and I do not intend to fast it at night and the dawn breaks and then I intend to fast, the fast is invalid. Now, what do you mean by intend to fast? Should I say, nawaitu an asum tomorrow? I intend to fast. Should I verbally say it? No. Intention is in the heart. When I want to go and answer the call of nature, do I, before moving, say, I intend to go to the toilet to have 101 or 201? No. I don't have to say this. If there's an apple in front of me, should I say to myself, I intend to reach out to the apple and eat it? Of course not. This is insane. Then what is meant by the word intention? The word intention is something in your heart. You intend to do it, you do it. That's it. When it's fasting, your pre-dawn meal is an intention. Wanting to fast tomorrow before you go to bed, or at least before the adhan breaks. Maybe you go to bed not intending, but seconds before the break of dawn, the adhan of Fajr, you intend to fast, this is valid. Do I have to do this every single night of Ramadan? No. Ramadan is connected, continuous. So your intention the first day of Ramadan suffices the whole of the month. You don't have to intend it every single night, unless you break. What do you mean? I fasted for a whole week, intending it on the first night. On the 8th day, I traveled, so I broke my fast for a couple of nights. Then I went back. I have to initiate a new intention for tomorrow. If I did not, then the fast is invalid because of the lack of intention. A woman has her menses for 7 days. She saw her purity, she took ghusl. She must intend from night that tomorrow she's fasting. Otherwise, this is invalid, and so on. Now, is the pre-dawn meal a must? The answer is no. Meaning that if I woke while intending to fast tomorrow, I woke seconds before the adhan. And as I was getting out of bed, the adhan was called. So should I continue to fast? Or this doesn't count? Of course, you have to fast. But I didn't eat, no problem. I didn't drink, it has no impact. The fast is valid. It is highly recommended that you have a pre-dawn meal, as it's the sunnah. And even if you don't want to eat, at least you have to drink a glass of water. Again, this is the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ. But if for one reason or the other, you fail to do this, your fast is